listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and execute.
Hello there, my beautiful IELTS students. Now then, as you probably know, my name is Ben Worthington, and in this tutorial, we are going to specifically look at discourse markers. Why are we looking at discourse markers? Well, if we want to score a band 7 or above, we can have a look at the official IELTS criteria, and under the section of fluency and cohesion, then we move down to band 7 and we read it, we get uses a range of connectives and discourse markers with some flexibility. Well, what are discourse markers? Good question. Well, when you're answering the speaking examiner's questions, probably in part 1 or part 3, you'll want to make use of these discourse markers to show fluency and cohesion. Discourse markers are sometimes called like signposts, or sequencing language or signposting language. And these are usually phrases or words that make it easier to identify attitudes, changes of direction, or changes of perspective in a conversation. Now, you probably know like basic levels or intermediate ones. That's called like basic signposting. So phrases such as, in my opinion, finally, we got to the bus stop, and next we went to the bus stop. You see? Now, these are very common ones. But if we want to be scoring high, well, we're going to be looking for less commonly used discourse markers from which we can link ideas, and we can use for signposting ideas too. So here are some examples of some discourse markers to express agreement. We can say absolutely, certainly, definitely, well, actually, okay. Side note, do not stick to one and use it throughout your whole speaking exam. I used to have a student that would start every single answer with well. And after a couple of hours, it started to get a little bit annoying. Also, from the examiner's point of view, obviously we need to use a variety of language in order to score high. So some other discourse markers to express an attitude. To tell you the truth, I don't actually read a lot, for example. To tell you the truth, I much prefer walking in the Yorkshire Dales than coastal walks. Next one. I must admit I hardly ever read. I must admit I have a strong preference for the countryside over the city. Next one. To be honest, I don't really read that much. To be honest, I hardly ever swim. To be honest, I prefer the countryside. Next one. Ideally, I would be reading every day. Ideally, I would have a job in the city centre. Ideally, I would be living in Australia. You see? So we're just expressing an attitude here. Now, because the speaking exam is slightly informal, okay? It's compared with the writing. Because it is slightly less formal than the writing, the above words and phrases are ideally suited for the examiner's questions. For example, in part 1, does your name have a special meaning? Well, actually it does. Ben in Hebrew means son, I think, and I'm not entirely sure. Just something like that. Do you like your hometown? Certainly. Certainly. I love Huddersfield. It's one of the best towns in the world. Uh, Anybody who's familiar with England might disagree with what I just said there. If there's any IELTS tutors who are living in England, they might disagree with that because Huddersfield doesn't have the best branding, which is a little unfair but understandable. But if you said certainly I love London, it's one of the best cities in the world, you could get away with it. But anyway, let's move on. So, how would using these terms with flexibility look like? Well, very similar to all the examples I just gave you. So let me just give you this list again. To tell you the truth, I hope you are writing these down. So for expressing an attitude, to tell you the truth, I've never been to Scotland. To tell you the truth, I've always wanted to live in Australia. Can you see? Next one, I must admit, sir, it's beautiful living in this city. Yeah? I must admit, I've been wanting to move to Melbourne all my life. To be honest, this is the best place in the world. I love the culture, I love the nature surrounding the city, I love the attitude of the people. Yeah. Next one, to be honest, this place is simply amazing. Yeah? To be honest, there is nowhere I would rather be. Can you grasp what I'm trying to say here? We're just using these expressions, we're putting them at the front, and it's just helping break up the talk, it's making us sound more natural, and it's given us an opportunity, well, basically more thinking time as well. So try and adopt these and try and use them the next time, not only when you have your IELTS exam, but try and use them in your everyday speech. Yeah? You could even just go to the shop and just say, could I have the red one, please? No, actually, to tell you the truth, I want the blue one. Yeah? Write it down and make it your mission today to use these. So that's it from me. And if you know anybody who you think would benefit by listening to these podcasts, send them a link, please. Let's get more people on board and let's help more people. Also, the next step, if you're interested in passing IELTS, is to go to IELTSPodcast.com, leave your email there, and we'll send you some useful information, the newest tutorials, and there's also a big PDF you can get with lots of IELTS materials in there. But if you're in a hurry, you might want to check out the online course, or if you want to improve quicker, and you're in a hurry and you're not so sure if the online course is suitable, then have a look at getting some feedback for your essays. My name's Ben Worthington. Thank you very much for listening and have a great day and good luck with your IELTS. You will get there. Just put in the time, put in the work, and you'll see you are going to pass IELTS. Take care.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.